Hello and welcome everyone to the Scoop Takeover. This is the October 21st edition of NXT. I'm of course your host Sean Jackson. Okay, so I'm sorry that I haven't been updating you guys with the NXT reviews. It's just the fact that I have been insanely busy with work and school, and it's just been insane, like working on movies for school and actually just work in general, because I work a very long shift. So I've been trying to do this, but I've been insanely tired. But this is not why you guys are here. You guys are here for the wrestling talk, so I'm gonna talk about wrestling now. Last week on NXT, they had a battle royale for the number one contender to the NXT title, to which Apollo Crews won, which is an interesting choice because everybody thought it was going to be the obvious choice of Samoa Joe, and everyone, just like every Royal Rumble, well, not every Royal Rumble, I'm guessing, I'm going to say 2014's Royal Rumble and even 2015's Royal Rumble, everyone booed when their man did not win, which is what happened when Tyler Breeze got eliminated. Everybody wanted Tyler Breeze, and they just started excuse me, I got the hiccups. They just started booing, and they were just like, this is bullshit, because they wanted Tyler Breeze, because Tyler Breeze has been long overdue for having the title. Excuse me, hiccups. He's been there for 3 years and still hasn't had the NXT title. It's insane. But yeah, Apollo Crews is the number one contender. He eliminated Baron Corbin to become number one contender, because honestly, out of Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin, I would rather have Apollo Crews, because nobody wants to see Baron Corbin be number one contender. Screw that. Anyway, so our first match is Asuka versus Billie Kay. And I'm pretty sure Billie Kay's theme music says "fuck me up and down." I don't know. I've actually heard the song several times. Still can't understand what they say or what she says. But her theme music is really, really weird. But anyway, so Billie Kay was actually she was dominating before the match. Honestly, I guess it was just Asuka toying with her, because obviously if she killed Dana Brooke in the ring, then Billie Kay clearly didn't stand a chance. So Asuka was just like, I want this person to feel important, so whatever. But yeah, Asuka obviously destroyed Billie in the ring. She had this weird, this crazy look in her face, where when she was going for a handshake, at the start of the match. And she had this wide-eyed stare, this weird, creepy stare, hey, shake my hand, and this will be easy for you. This will be over way faster than you think. I would actually go easy on you. I won't kill you like Dana Brooke. But obviously, Billie Kay is a heel. So she slapped the hand away, and the crowd just started chanting against Billie, because they're like, you're gonna end up like Dana. They started chanting, Asuka's gonna kill you, and I'm like, yeah. It's like she didn't stand a chance. Tons of people just kept screaming that from the crowd, and it was great. But yeah, obviously Asuka ended it. She ended the match the same way she ended the Dana Brooke match. She applied the Asuka lock, which is I guess it's a rear naked choke. And she again had that crazy look on her face. It's like she was possessed. I'm like, Jesus, I would never want to fight her, honestly, because I really want them to bring back intergender matches and have Asuka actually beat some dudes' asses. That would actually be really, really cool. But yeah, it was a pretty standard squash match, so nothing really special here, but I love seeing Asuka in the ring because her technical ability is off the charts. It is Eddie, Benoit, Kurt, it is that level of, her technical prowess is that level. It's just like Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, same thing. Same with Alexa Bliss. Those are the technical geniuses in the ring. So I really, really like it. Anyway, so our next match is Dash and Dawson versus Big Cass and Enzo Amore, my boys. But yeah, so this whole match was short. It was weird. It was a weird thing. Cause last week Dash and Dawson called out Enzo and Cass because they said that they were going after the Vaudevillains for the NXT titles. But they have to get through Big Cass and Enzo because obviously they have to become number one contenders. So yeah, I'm seeing that Dash and Dawson are now getting the push Blake and Murphy is getting or got recently, which is good because I love it when like when the small guys become the big guys, like when Jason Jordan like teamed up with Chad Gable and now they're just super over. You know, they're baby faces at this point because at first they were heels. Well, like obviously Jason Jordan was, but Chad Gable basically made Jason Jordan the face, and it was great. So it's good to see Dash and Dawson getting a push like this. But this match was short because Enzo was in the ring the entire time. He didn't even tag Big Cass in once because Dash and Dawson were working Enzo's leg. They just constantly kept working the leg. They pinned his leg down. They pinned him down in like a leg submission hold, and they just held it there for like 5 fucking minutes. It was crazy until Big Cass got so fed up with that he just like broke the he broke the hold, and which allowed Enzo to actually like roll up. He rolled up. I forgot which one it was. It was Dash or Dawson. It's like Blake and Murphy. I can't tell you apart. You have nothing distinct about you that like you need a name. Like I can tell who Enzo Amore is. I know who Big Cass is because even if they didn't introduce themselves during the entrances, I still would know. But the fact that Enzo introduces him and his crew, you know, every single time they enter, it helps. But I don't know who the fuck Dash and Dawson are. I don't know which one. But anyway, so Cass rolled up whoever the fuck was in the ring with him. He rolled him up in I think it was a small package, and they won. But here's the crazy thing: Dash and Dawson started beating Enzo and Cass down like true heels. I mean, even though they lost, they still beat them down. So obviously they're getting some kind of push here. Like, because even though you lose, that doesn't mean you are automatically buried. It's what happens after that. That's when you know you're buried. But the fact that they actually stood tall at the end means they're not buried. They're actually getting some sort of push. They're trying to get over. Or no, not over. They're trying to get heat. Trying to get enough heat to like advance. Like maybe they're going to have a rematch with Cass and Enzo so it can be a proper match. But this match was actually really short. It's always great to see my boys in the ring, but I like seeing them like actually have matches, you know, instead of short matches like this. Anyway, so James fucking Storm. James Storm. But before James Storm, there was an Eva Marie promo because she's in Paris right now, or whenever it was taped. I don't understand this. Why are we having these Eva? All she says is that I'm still in Paris. You guys must miss me or something. I don't know. I don't know why she's in Paris. I don't care. No one cares. No one really cares. But whatever. I'm glad she's there doing whatever. I don't care. But James Storm came in. And I love the fact they never advertised this. Not once did they advertise this. When Rhino came in, not one advertisement. They didn't say, oh, Rhino's coming. No. When James Storm came in, not one advertisement. Nothing. But on main roster WWE, they advertise every single person that shows up. Be like, oh, Austin's backstage. Shawn Michaels is backstage. No, make it a surprise to viewers. Make it a surprise to the wrestling fans. That's what they did for NXT when James Storm came in. Everyone marked out. Every single one of them. They were like, cowboy, cowboy. Like, everybody was just like, holy shit. But yeah, James Storm, he was like, I fucking love this shit. He was loving it. And he ended the match. He ended the match doing his finisher, the 8-second ride. It was a really good move because I never seen James Storm wrestle. And this is honestly a good introduction of James Storm to me. This is great. And it wasn't that long of a match because obviously squash match. But it was great. Like, my coworker actually told me about James Storm and how he says his catchphrase and all that. And I'm like, that's a really cool catchphrase. And then he says it at the end of the match. He's like, sorry about your damn luck. And I'm like, that's the fucking coolest shit I've ever heard. I hope James Storm sticks around because they mentioned, like, the commentary team, they mentioned you know, his work in WCW, and then they said he spent last 15 years in the independent circuit. And since I've just recently learned about him being in TNA, I'm like, okay, so the fact, I mean, it's obvious that they can't mention TNA because they don't own TNA, or they don't have like a partnership with TNA. They don't have anything with TNA, which is why they can't have Kurt Angle, which is bullshit because Kurt Angle's the best. And the fact that he's like, oh, the independent circuit. Is like, yeah, they call TNA the independent circuit. Great, that's awesome. Like, because no one cares about TNA. But anyway, yeah, James Storm, really great. He was really great in the ring. Like, right before he did a neck breaker, he just yelled out "good night," and it was the fucking best thing ever. He was like, "good night," bam, and I was like, that's fucking sick. I love it when I hear wrestlers talk during matches, not calling spots, but when they taunt the other person, like when they're like "good night," or when Apollo Crews eliminated when he eliminated Baron Corbin to become number one contender for the NXT title, he said, "Here we go," and he clotheslined Baron out of the ring, and it was great. But anyway, so Alexa Bliss is going up against Peyton Royce, who has the exact same music as Billie Kay. Okay, is Billie Kay and Peyton Royce the exact same person? Because they have the same song, and I get them mixed up half the time. But whatever. Anyway, so obvious squash match. This entire NXT episode was filled to the brim with squash matches. It's insane. But yeah, so Alexa Bliss dominated Peyton Royce. But the main important thing was the fact that she got on the mic and started talking shit about Bayley, and the crowd was having none of it. The crowd was booing the hell out of Alexa Bliss because she's had so much heat. Because honestly, she works as a heel. She works way better as a heel than she does as a face, honestly. Because I loved her as a babyface with her like blonde and blue hair, and it was great, and her fucking awesome theme music. Instead of this techno bullshit that she has now. But her as a heel, she's like stepping on her opponents and stuff. She's like, she got Peyton in like a arm lock and started just standing on her head. It was great. But no, she gets on the mic and starts saying that she was made to be NXT Women's Champion, which is I can't say she's wrong, but yeah, she's just talking shit about Bayley like everybody else does. I mean, you know, it's whatever. But it was still good. Another thing that that was just weird to me. I'm not sure, again, like Dash and Dawson, I'm not sure which is which with Blake and Murphy, but one of them was wearing really long girl earrings. I'm guessing they added Alexa to the group so that way people would not think that they're gay or something like that, even though there would be nothing wrong with that. I mean, honestly, like, imagine that, a gay tag team in wrestling, that would be great. That'd be like, you know, like even if it was a gimmick, that like as long as you don't make them stereotypically gay, like just be like, oh, they're a couple. Okay, throwaway line, pass it off. That's great. Who cares? Let them wrestle. Don't make any of their moves like visceral where he fucks you. No, just make them actual wrestlers, but they just so happen to be gay. Like whatever. I don't know. I just think that would be interesting if they made Black and Murphy like that, but whatever. But still, one of them was wearing earrings. I'm like, why? I mean, the crowd was chanting like, "Nice earrings." It was fucking great. But yeah, Alexa Bliss is really good. She came off genuine during her promo against Bayley, which was good. Because obviously, like as a babyface, she works it. As a heel, she works it. Still, Alexa Bliss is insanely gorgeous. Oh my god, no matter what she is, heel or face, I don't care. And this is, again, one main point I love about NXT over WWE main roster. Is that they give the talent time to flesh out their personalities and character. While on main roster, they only have a select few people, like maybe mainly top guys, talk on the mic. So that way, that's why whenever you hear like Adam Rose talk now or Luke Harper talk, genuine good talkers on the mic, when you actually hear them, the crowd goes, what? Because they're not used to them talking. They're used to Bray Wyatt talking. They're used to Roman Reigns talking. They're used to Dean talking. They're used to Seth Rollins talking. They're used to John Cena talking, and that's bad. So that's why I love NXT, because when people start talking, the crowd actually listens to them. Even if you're bad on the mic, you know, you give them something, you know, you actually let them know who you are. What is your character? What is your deal? Why do you do these things? You know? It's great. They don't rely solely on video packages. They don't rely solely on a person's in-ring ability. They have them talk, and it's amazing. They give them the mic. They engage them in backstage shenanigans or whatever, or like just segments, and it's great. It's amazing. But whatever. Anywho, we got the main event, which is Rhino versus Baron Corbin, and Baron Corbin picks up the win with an end of days. Now, this match was a little underwhelming, because I know that these two, man, put these two in a Hell in a Cell match, you would have a fucking match. You would get these two beating the shit, ever-loving shit out of each other. That's what I'm looking forward to when it comes to Bray and Roman, because one, they're not old like Undertaker, and they have no chance of dying like Undertaker in the Cell, but they're both young and powerful. Like they have the potential of really like bringing a very brutal physical match, even though every wrestling match is physical, but you know what I mean. Still, this match was a little underwhelming. They didn't show really their full potential here, as I thought they would. Because, I mean, why would you bring your full on like just a taping? Obviously, save that for a special. But honestly, like considering how these two wrestle, you would think that they would just beat the shit out of each other. They kind of didn't. They just did moves and whatever. I don't know. Like, that's it. They just kind of, they fought outside for a bit. Not one of them got slammed on the ramp. Not one of them got slammed on the outside. Sure, they threw each other into the ring steps. That's it. But, like, it wasn't really much. I still enjoyed it, but it was just a little underwhelming. Fucking Baron kicked out of the gore. That's like kicking out of a pedigree. Tons of people have done it, but you don't just do it, you know? You don't just do it, but many people have done it. It's weird. Like, don't kick out of a fucking gore. Man, Rhino's gonna eat your face off. But no. So Baron kicks out of a gore at the count of 2 because the crowd thought it was over. Because obviously Rhino is a babyface at this point. And the crowd really wanted Rhino to win. But yeah, Rhino, he was going for another gore. And very obviously, he wasn't going for that gore. Because he wasn't even charging for the gore. He was just kind of hunched over a little bit and slightly running. Like, he had like a brisk pace coming at him. Well, I wouldn't say brisk pace. Like maybe like a power walk. Yeah, he had like a power walk going towards Baron for the gore. And then people were like, "Oh my God, Baron countered the gore into an end of days." No, he didn't. Because here's the thing: a real counter of the gore is Chris Benoit turning the gore into a crossface. That was a real counter because Rhino charged at him full speed. Benoit caught his arm and quickly put that into a crossface. It was brilliant. It was the most amazing reversal I've ever seen in my entire life. Baron, on the other hand, Rhino had to make it easy for him. So I don't see why they overhyped it, but whatever. So yeah, Baron picked up the win over Rhino. And whatever. Also, I like to point out that somebody in the crowd, there was always that one person in the crowd that kept chanting or cheering for the opposing person, like whoever the crowd was in favor of. That one person had to be the one that's like especially in the Billie Kay match, she's like, "Come on, Billie." I'm like, really? Against Asuka? You're not cheering for Asuka. And you're like, "Come on, Billie." I get the reasoning behind that, because like, 1, go against the popular vote. 2, you want to see the lower talent get a push. You want them to become the next big thing, like Asuka, like Sasha Banks was, like Bayley is, like Alexa Bliss is. You know, I want to see Carmella go up that ladder. I really do. I really want to see Carmella go up that ladder. No one wants to see Eva Marie, but whatever. She's gonna get a title shot. I know it. I know she's gonna get a title shot. It's only a matter of time. She's gonna get that title shot. Like probably in the next month or 2. But anyway. But yeah. So yeah, this Rhino Baron Corbin match, it was entertaining, but it was a little underwhelming. And I wasn't expecting something like genius. I was actually just expecting like them to beat the shit out of each other. That's all I'm thinking. I was just like, let them beat the shit out of each other. They didn't? Damn it. Well, they kind of did, but fuck it. Anywho. So yeah, this was a very, it was a, I mean, honestly, any episode of NXT is way better, leagues better than Raw or SmackDown. So obviously, I still enjoyed this edition of NXT because I've been watching Raw lately, and Raw has been just awful. This entire month, it has been awful. So to watch NXT, it is a breath of fresh air. It is amazing. I love the smaller arena, the smaller crowd, the much better talent, like the creativity, the handling, the writing is great because obviously the writers know exactly what the fuck they're doing. There isn't like 21 people writing for one person. There's like maybe like 3 or 4 writing for several. So that way you have, like, because honestly, the biggest room you can have of writers is probably the worst thing you can have. The smaller your writing staff is, the better, because you have less people to bounce ideas off of, because all those 20 people have terrible ideas. A lot of those people don't even like half the talent on the roster. So that's why I love watching NXT, where everyone cares about everyone. This was actually not that bad of an episode of NXT. I recommend you guys checking it out. If you are a fan of NXT or if you want to get into NXT, then I suggest start at any point. Do what I did. Start at any point, because around this time last year, I got the WWE Network and I started watching NXT and I fell in love with it. Especially when Sami Zayn, I think it was around Sami Zayn's Road to Redemption, when he had to go up against Tyler Breeze, Tyson Kidd, and Titus O'Neil. And it was great. It was amazing. I loved every minute of it. So if you guys want to get into NXT, start at any point. You will not be disappointed. Even though it's sad to say that you guys won't see Sami Zayn for a little bit. You won't see Hideo Itami for a little bit, but when you do, you will love them. But anyway, I give NXT a solid 3.5 stars out of 5. I recommend you guys watching it. Anyway, I'm Sean Jackson. Have a great day.